All right, it being
Hello.
5:30, we'll call this joint work session to order. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First off, Mayor Benetti is joining us virtually tonight. Looks like Carmen is too, and Drew can't make it. So the first item of business is public comment. We only have one person signed up, and you're on the agenda, so I'll bring you up when that comes up, if that's okay. Rob, do you have a public comment?
He has
All right,
lots,
well-
he's just not going to share publicly.
We'll move on to review of the City Council and URA Board upcoming action items. Item A is review of requests for improvement grant request for 225 West Lockhart. Carolyn, is this you?
She was on and now she's not. She was having to go. So the owner of the property at 225 West Lockhart, which now houses the Pro Diesel Auto Repair, is requesting a facade improvement or an improvement grant for the facade on the Lockhart elevation of their building to make it a more modern look with the use of natural woods and black metal accents. The project for which the grant request covers includes new windows, entry double doors, cedar siding at the base with black metal above, custom light fixtures, and custom lettering to identify the property address. The owner will fully fund the $12,800 cost of a revision to the existing sign and has already repainted the building. And due to heavy local contractor workloads, they were only able to get one bid for their project, and that was provided by Morrison Guerreros and for $50,624.76. Excluding the cost of the signage improvements, which the owner will pay himself, the total project cost will be $36,824.76, and the applicant seeks a 54% match grant for the eligible features of the project, or $20,000. 50% of the project cost is $18,412.38. And we're just asking for your review and comment tonight, and we'll come to you at a future council meeting, probably next week, for approval.
It looks like the applicant is here. Did you want to speak on this? Come up to the mic, please. Just get the mic right there.
Okay, yeah, I'm the owner from Pro Diesel, and I applied for the pasado, whatever, you know. I applied for that and see the making remodel this place. I just bought it. I know it's pretty old. It's 100 years old. I trying to make it better because the other place I'm working right now is I'm renting, and I just trying to buy my own and making this better, and that's why I'm trying to apply and see if I can looking better in the city, you know, represent nice property, you know, and that's why I apply for that and see if you guys help me in that, and, you know. I'm not very good at speaking.
That's all right. You're doing a great job.
Okay, you're doing fine.
You're doing a great job.
Sorry for that, but yeah, it's see if you guys help me in that, and I appreciate it if you guys help me in that. Yeah.
Council, do you have any questions for
No,
Mr.
I'm just
Ledesma?
excited to, I love the new look of it, so I'm excited to see it. So will this be on the council agenda next week, Roger? Is that
It'll
correct?
be on the urban renewal agenda.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, the design looks great. I like it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, we'll move on to item B, review of proposed revisions to the Coos Municipal Code Title 17, marijuana regulations as recommended by Planning Commission.
And Carolyn
Carolyn?
has got this, and she's back on.
Hello, everyone. We're here tonight to
Carolyn, I think you might be muted.
talk about some revisions to. No, I'm not muted. Are you able to hear me now?
Carolyn, we can't
No?
hear you.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll go ahead and start. Back in November of 2020, the council asked for a review of our marijuana regulations for businesses. It was taken back to the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission's come up with some revised changes, and unfortunately, it's not everything was listed in this report, so maybe it might make it easier. They've added some definitions, instead of lumping everything in as marijuana-related businesses. They've separated them out, and you have marijuana retail, marijuana grow, and marijuana processing. And that actually does a good job of defining the various aspects of those businesses. Within that, they provided some proposed changes.
Roger, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
Carmen's saying that they can't hear anything.
No, can you hear me?
I'm not hearing any noise off the speakers either.
Are the microphones on?
Take a technical break. Well, he thinks the whole Teams is muted. Carmen does.
What's that?
Carmen thinks the whole Teams is muted, but it sounds like
Actually-
the sound system's off.
Actually, he's saying he can hear us, and they can hear each other, but we can't hear them.
I know we had someone working on the sound today.
President Miles, as the council president, it's your job to fill this empty space. So,
We would like some song and dance.
yes. Mayor Benetti told me to keep you on your toes and keep you, harass you, so here I am, fulfilling his wish.
Can you guys hear us? Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, Carmen, I can hear you,
He's talking.
but
Yeah.
you're right, they can't hear
Darn
us.
it, Joe, we can't hear you.
Joe,
Yeah,
can
so
you hear me? This is Carolyn.
I
Yeah,
can hear you, Carolyn.
Yeah.
They're talking to each other.
Yeah. And the mics, they're still not working.
Check, 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 check.
I've had technology issues all day. Bringing it with me.
Welcome to City Council. Are we online?
We can hear you, yeah.
Yes. If they can hear us.
I don't think they can.
They can't hear us, but I'm trying to send them text that they just need to unmute the feed from us.
Correct. Aren't they reading it?
I don't know, I'm trying to get them there. Oh, now I've lost view of the council chambers though.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Good job so far, Councilor Miles.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Nope.
Nope. Ah, technology.
Yeah, right. Oh, so Lucinda says the entire system. Did you see that? Huh.
Yeah, I saw that. The speakers might not be turned on. Or like the volume for the speakers might need to be turned up.
Yeah, not bad, but you had to work a little bit. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go on unmute so I can open up my beer can.
We won't tell on you.
That sounds like a good idea. I got a beer in the refrigerator. I should go grab it.
They can't hear us yet.
We can hear you
Yeah, we
now.
can hear you.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's
go ahead
good.
and keep talking.
Shouldn't have said anything.
You have
Whoops.
to behave.
How many elected officials does it take to turn on a sound system?
All right, we'll resume.
Just for right now.
Carolyn, you can go ahead and take over now if you would like.
All right. Is that okay, Roger?
Oh, yes, please do.
Okay.
I was winging it.
Oh, you were doing great. You were doing great. The reason you're looking at this tonight is that you had imposed a moratorium on new business licenses, except for marijuana businesses that were already in place. The Planning Commission took a look at the specific rules that we have about marijuana and their limitations, all the standards and criteria. I want to digress for a moment from the report to note that marijuana sales are allowed in the commercial zone, the mixed use zone, and the industrial zone. Only though in the industrial commercial zone can you have an indoor grow or processing. So those pieces of the code are totally separate from what you're looking at here, even though it does mention industrial commercial later on, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I just wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for where marijuana activities can take place, marijuana sales, etc. Anyway, the Planning Commission took a look at these regulations on August 10th and September 14th, and they are recommending that all the references to distances be removed. The distance between commercial use to marijuana commercial uses, and the distance between marijuana, a marijuana business and residential uses and zones. They voted on that fairly strongly with a 7-0 to have that removed. As you can see in the middle of the background section of the report, it shows you the strikeouts. They also recommended some fairly specific definitions of marijuana retail, marijuana grow, and marijuana processing. And those are at the bottom of your report as well. So they have followed through with your direction to advise them. They met on it twice, and they were very happy to make the recommendation and move on. Their supplemental report that they looked at is attached to your staff report. And I didn't have the minutes of their meeting ready yet, but I think for that 7-0 vote is kind of speaks for itself. So I'm available for any questions if you have some.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Comments?
Well, I have a question. So this change would mean that you could have it looks like what it used to be is within 1,000 feet. And now we're saying they could actually be right next to each other.
They could.
Yes. When, as the sales or distribution of marijuana evolved, when it first started, it was only medical dispensaries, and there was a provision under state law that they couldn't be within 1,000 feet of each other. When that evolved and retail sales were approved, that provision went away. Generally, what we've been doing and what the council has approved in the past is that we just follow the state regulations. That 1,000 feet is no longer a state regulation. And if we just left it on the marijuana industry, that would be actually be the only legal industry that was had that requirement that they couldn't be next door to each other. And it's not uncommon that you see actually other businesses grouping together like grocery stores, auto parts stores in this community, and such.
No, thanks.
But is there restrictions against liquor stores?
Liquor stores are guided by the state, and I believe you can only have so many in a community. I think we only have one, and North Bend has one.
Any other questions, comments? Mayor Benetti?
Yeah, I have a few, Roger. So what income do we generate as a city from this industry?
I'd be happy to let Nicole answer that.
Thank you. I do have an answer for you tonight. I'm prepared to share. As you guys may know, we adopted our 3% sales tax in mid fiscal year 16-17. And it took a little bit, obviously, before we started having businesses and or revenue generated. So 2018 is the first year in which there was some revenue there, in addition to when we started receiving the state revenue. So in that year, we had 161,000 of total combined revenue between state and local. The following year was 155,000, and that went down a little bit because we initially, to qualify for the state, our share of that state percentage, we had to not disallow businesses that met those 4 categories: the producers, processors, wholesalers, and retailers. And our code at the time did prohibit some of that. So we did a code amendment to allow us to have access to sharing of those state funds. So in the following year, we saw that increase. So 2020, we went up to 220,000. 2021, we came in at 335,000. That's a big jump. We expect that to come back down because we know Measure 110 from the state changed that allocation percentage for the state revenues, so we won't get as large of a percentage anymore. And so we've brought that this year's budget down to 180,000.
So the state changed the percentage they're going to allocate to the cities
Yes.
by like almost half, right? Well, a large percentage.
Yeah, and I can.
You know, I've not always been an advocate of having a lot of marijuana facilities. I think I made that clear. I was concerned about how many we would have, but it is a revenue generator, so that influences my thinking. Not receiving 330,000 now and only getting 180. I don't know my feelings, but anyway, I'm willing to accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission under the circumstances, I guess.
Carmen, did you have any comments?
I guess my only comment would be, I thought we had kind of wanted to go in the direction of having separation. So it seems kind of opposite of what I was anticipating we were moving towards, the model we were moving towards, having more separation between the businesses, but maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly.
I don't believe you are, Carmen. I think that is correct.
I also am a
But I
little,
think that we were having trouble, if I remember correctly, of coming to a decision amongst the council which way to go. And so I think we referred to the Planning Commission for their review and suggestion.
That's kind of how I remember it too.
Well, one more quick question. Was there any specific reason why we were really focused on that we might want to relay at this meeting, just to kind of bring everybody up to speed? I can't remember the reason why we're moving towards that direction.
I remember bringing up that I was concerned in the downtown corridor that we have housing, apartments, and those businesses being in proximity of, in that downtown corridor to residents, and that we didn't have the same policy. I think the policy currently feet away from schools and residential areas, and we weren't applying the same principle to the downtown corridor where we have.
I see.
Is there any, could we, as a council, change the requirement that the planning commission is recommending? Could we still leave 1,000 feet from another marijuana-related business in place?
Recommendation, it's at your purview to make the decision how you want to go.
And so the recommendation also is not within 1,000 feet, to eliminate the 1,000 feet of any residential, am I correct?
It's to eliminate the 1,000 feet to any residential use or zone, to eliminate that, as well as between commercial marijuana uses.
I personally like us to leave it, leave the 1,000 feet for residential and other marijuana businesses. But that's just me.
Do we have any background on why the state, why they're at 500? Or they're not, or they don't have any restriction?
I
They don't have
recall,
any
but theirs
restriction.
was a clear delineation from residential zones versus residential uses. Here you have most of your residential are clearly residentially zoned. You can't have business within them. And in the downtown, you have this mixed-use area that includes both businesses and residential. So if you say it can't be in a place where there's residential uses, you're pretty much going to eliminate most of the city for those type of businesses.
And that's how I remember the discussion going, was that the way it was written, most of the ones
Right.
even here now are not where they're supposed to.
True.
But we did say we'd grandfather those businesses in since they were already established.
I think I had a comment too, that I wanted to be